This is the Roundtable. A look at the news, views, politics, and people that are shaping Rutherford County.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to your Tuesday morning edition of the Roundtable Show with your hosts, Rick Hall and Wayne Blair. Come to you every Tuesday morning here at WGNS Studios in Murfreesboro, and we try to throw a little spin with it at the north end of Rutherford County and the goings on, and a lot of county politics and things like that. So, we both served on the county commission, and you and the school board as well. There, Mr. Wayne. But how are you, buddy?
Fine. Good morning. Glad to see this snow starting to go away. And looked at the weather map just a few minutes ago, and the rain's knocking on our doors. So all this nasty slush and everything should dissipate here in a bit, I suspect.
Well, I'm ready for it to go away.
I am too. I tell you, sit in a house with a 6 and a 4-year-old for 3 days. You're happy to do anything.
You're
else.
out of prison.
Yeah,
I think a lot of parents are agreeing with you right now.
I suspect as well. Just happy to. I dropped them off at school this morning, and y'all have a great day.
Yeah.
I couldn't get away fast enough. I suspect.
Rutherford County's 2 hours late, so if you're dropping your kids off right now, you need to hang on to them for another hour. You can't let them go yet.
Yeah. Or you're going to be waiting in the school line for a while.
You're exactly right.
So Titans got a new head coach, so that's been fascinating to listen to. So hopefully they'll make the turn.
Hopefully, I'd like to see them be competitive. It's like the Vols. I just wanted the Vols to be competitive with being a longtime fan, and I think the Titans have fell in that same boat. But
we need Blue Raiders to do the same. So
amen.
The basketball team seem to be doing really well, and I keep seeing all these new records that the ladies are setting with points and free throws, and that's pretty exciting. So they're the real deal, I think.
Well, you're supposed to take me to a game, and you've not done that yet.
Well,
so I'm holding you to it.
You're still welcome. We'll make that happen. This morning, Brother Rick got a great friend, fellow Rotarian, the president of the Rutherford County Chamber of Commerce, Paul Latture, and gosh, we're really pleased to have you this morning. Know your plate's full, and to make time for us this morning was very kind. Thank you.
Well, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here, and I had to come for the entertainment value with you two guys.
Yes, sir.
We just had to kick him to wake him up.
I've already learned a lot.
Yeah. With my knees, I couldn't even stand up when you came in the room, so I didn't make a good first impression, I'm afraid.
So you're president of the Rutherford County Chamber of Commerce. What's a day like for you?
Well, that's a great question because every day is different. For example, got several meetings today that I didn't know I was going to have until last night. So we're going to be doing that. Tomorrow we've got a prospective company coming in, so we'll be hosting them for about half a day tomorrow. And it's just that's what keeps it exciting. You really don't know what the day's going to hold, typically. So it's fun. Keeps you on your toes.
Why don't before we get into all getting the weeds, I guess, if you will, tell us about growing up. Grew up in Mississippi. Went to school in Mississippi. You're not a spring chicken, so I expect you've had some exciting events in your life.
Well, I guess you could say that. As you said, we did move around quite a bit, but I called Jackson, Mississippi home, where we spent the longest time there. So I did go to high school there. As you and I talked earlier, I did play high school football. I did get invited to Ole Miss for an official visit.
Wow.
But I got there and it was an away game. So I just joined a fraternity. And, had a good time. But, got out of college at Ole Miss, which I thoroughly enjoyed, obviously. Went straight to work at the Memphis Chamber of Commerce. Had the opportunity to spend about 7 or 8 years there working in a couple of different capacities, where membership, governmental affairs, and other things. And then had my first economic development job was in Clarksville, Tennessee.
Wow.
And so I spent, I guess, about 4 years there. While there, I had the opportunity. I got invited to join the state economic development department. Governor Sunquist was then the governor, so I was an assistant commissioner for all the domestic and international marketing. And so that was quite a great experience. I got to meet all kinds of people. I got to see what you should do, what you shouldn't do, and as it relates to your community, and one thing I do take from that is that we've got a great situation here where everybody gets along. I've seen other communities where the mayors will fight in front of the client and stuff like that. So we got a great situation here, and I couldn't been here about. I spent about 3 years there, and then got my first chamber job as president in Jackson, Tennessee. And I had a great run in Jackson. Was looking, staying there a long time. And then Rutherford County called and said, "Would you like to come?" The first time, and I said, "No, I'm happy where I am." And then the executive that they hired, he didn't last, I guess, not even a year. So they called back and said, "Would you come talk to us?" And I said, "Well, yeah, absolutely."
So who made that call? Who would have made that call at that time? Would that been the mayor?
No, actually, Bill Jones, Steve Harrison, and Norman Brown. Norman was the incoming chair, and Blake Smith, he was the chair there. So we actually had lunch in Nashville, just to eyeball each other, and everything looked great. And then about 3 or 4 months later, accepted the job here, and glad I did. I really wasn't looking to leave, but we live in Murfreesboro, and have actually been here almost. It'll be 15 years in August, which is unbelievably gone by so quick. So, but it's been a great run, and obviously I hope it continues for a long time.
Sure. Did as far as your parents, were they coat and tie type people like you?
Well, yes and no. My dad was actually in the chamber business as well, so that's why we moved. He would get another chamber job, which was a bigger community and so forth. So we lived everywhere from Missouri to Texas to, and then again, the longest stay, I guess you could say, would be Jackson, Mississippi. So that's where I kind of claim my hometown, I guess, so to speak. But yeah, they were great parents. They let me get away with a lot of stuff, and been great. Mother has passed away since then, but my dad, she's been gone for about 15, 20 years, I guess. And my father just moved from Little Rock to Dallas. We were talking earlier about a trip to Dallas, Plano technically. So I have a younger brother that lives there as well.
So as far as siblings, just a brother, or?
I have one brother. Yeah, he's about 3 years younger than I am, and he lives in Dallas with his wife, who went to Mississippi State. So those aren't really fun holidays.
Okay.
Boy, how did?
Yeah.
Wow, that's like Auburn, Alabama level, isn't it?
It's bad. No doubt.
So what position did you play in football?
I started out at tight end, and then I kept getting slower and slower, so they moved me to center. So I played on the offensive line.
Dadgummit, that's exactly what happened to me. When I was a sophomore, I was a tight end. By the time I was a senior, I was a center.
Great hands, terrible
Great
feet.
hands, couldn't get there.
Hands of stone, but it wasn't about boxing.
Coach told me he could time me with a calendar. I said, okay.
Exactly. Turn the sand over.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Mississippi. Football. With Ole Miss and Mississippi State and Southern Miss and all of those junior colleges. I mean, they produce a lot of athletes.
They do. And fortunately, when I was in school, or unfortunately, when I was in school, we'd be lucky to win 4 or 5 games, and the big deal was to go to Shreveport for the back then the Poulan Weed Eater Bowl. And,
okay.
The famous quote. My coach Billy Brewer said. They asked him after the big win. They said, "Well, guys, you think you've turned the corner?" He said, "Well, you hadn't turned the corner, but the blinker's on right now." And that didn't last.
Yeah. So were you when you were at Ole Miss? I guess the Grove was a lot of fun. I've never been, but I've read and seen, I guess TV.
Yeah.
Not shows, having a senior moment. I'm struggling this morning, Rick. But seeing replays of people in the Grove having a grand old time before and after.
The Grove's certainly a special place. It's changed a lot since I was in school. Matter of fact, you used to be able to drive your car in the Grove, and I remember my parents would come and they would just open up the trunk with a honey baked ham and whatever you wanted to drink. And that all changed and I was at the game when Tennessee played at Ole Miss, and it rained about 4 feet, it seemed like, and the cars tore the Grove up. They said no more cars in the Grove anymore.
Oh, wow.
So that was a big deal.
Yeah.
Now it's just, it's gone crazy, and it's a packed house every weekend. So it definitely is a special place.
I've got a good friend that has she grew up in Mississippi, but they got Ole Miss family tickets that has been passed through, and there's 3 sisters left, and they keep those 4 tickets, and the 4th ticket each, they pick out their game, so which sister gets that extra ticket for that game. But they said, I've go to several UT games, and she said, you need to come just for the experience of the Grove and everything that goes on. She said it's amazing. And depending on how they play is how long they stay in the stands, because it's so hot down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, Dub Rayburn, Mississippi State grad, and his brother-in-law, I think a pharmacist, was an Ole Miss. So the Rayburns had the same thing, just a little bit of animosity on that during the Egg Bowl. So do you have any idea how the Egg Bowl became the Egg Bowl?
I do. It was kind of modeled after the trophy. There was a gold trophy. It was shaped as a football that some have surmised it looked like an egg, so they call it the Egg Bowl. And so from that point forward, it's been the Egg Bowl.
That's fascinating. Okay, I had no idea. So,
yeah.
But that makes sense.
Yeah. Fortunately, it's in Oxford this year, so the Egg Bowl trophy is in Oxford.
Yes.
That was touch and go. That was a great game.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, that was a really good game. So what's going on? So you've got a meeting tomorrow with a prospective thing, and kind of explain that a little bit, because I'm a new member on the Industrial Development Board, and I'm like way behind the 8 ball with my learning curve as far as those little things that people don't know that's going on. But the process kind of is, if a prospective company is maybe looking at coming here, their first place of contact is pretty much you guys, right?
Yeah, if you just kind of look at the chamber as kind of the front door of the community, whether it's tourism, whether it's small business or a prospective company looking to establish an operation here, we're kind of the front door, and we help organize the needs of the company when they're coming to look at our community. So a lot of times we partner, of course, very closely with the State Department of Economic and Community Development. TVA has a very robust economic development department as well, so we all work together, and a lot of times a lead will come through one of the 3 of us, and they may go to the state of Tennessee first because they're looking at multiple locations in the state. TVA is also looking at the Valley, but if we can, they generally start out, a company will have a need for real estate, whether it's a building or a site. And so they will generally send a pretty lengthy RFP out to fill out all the community information that they want to know about, anywhere from taxation to the biggest things, infrastructure. We're going to establish an operation here. Do you have enough electricity, or is your water capacity? A lot of things that could go into that they've got to have. And so we fill that out. We hope to get, we follow back up, and ultimately it would lead to a first visit, which in this case, they're going to look at a piece of real estate that does meet the criteria. And so we'll go through that process, make a presentation to them about what the community has to offer, from everything from education to healthcare to quality of life. And so, we do a great job. I'll just brag on our team that we don't win them all, but it comes down to just how a company feels. Oshkosh, or in this case McNeilius, who was right before the end of the year, announced they're coming here. They took down almost 1 million square foot building on Joe B. Jackson. I think that really the kind of the deal was sealed when we had a great dinner together. We just sat around, we talked, and that goes a long way in some cases where the company gets a good feel, we get a good feel about their culture. and we're excited about having these manufacturing jobs that are going to be coming to, in this case, Murfreesboro.
I'd say the interstate and the Smyrna Airport and of course Metro just has some attraction as well. I mean, which we didn't really have any input on that, but you can get to just about 60% of the United States population within a 3-hour drive here. Is that correct?
Yeah, but about a half a day's drive, you can reach almost over half the population. So yeah, we're blessed to be centrally located. Obviously, is good with good infrastructure, interstate. As you pointed out, some companies need rail, so they rail access is important to some companies that use it. And of course, access to airports is huge, and with B&A growing and continuing to have more direct flights, it certainly is a plus for us. I think the thing that I know we can talk to them about, and you've seen some articles in the past about the need for more international flights, especially from Tokyo.
Sure.
If we could ever get that done, which it's not if, it will happen at some point. It may not be very soon, but a lot goes into that. You don't think about that. They've got to have a runway long enough to take off, land, that kind of thing. But you can see the success that's going on with British Airways. Almost all their flights are full, and they're going to be expanding into another couple of days a week, I understand.
Wow.
There's some other things I know they've talked about publicly that looking at either Frankfurt or Amsterdam as well. So, that's exciting for us to be able to get, companies in and out if they're located somewhere other than the United States.
A flight to Tokyo, what is that, about 13 hours?
I can tell you exactly what it is.
I'm sorry.
It's 24 hours from your doorstep to the hotel doorstep.
Oh, wow.
But 13 hours, yeah, it's I've done it about, I guess, 3 or 4 times.
Bless your heart.
It's brutal.
I bet. There's just no way I could
My
do
first
it.
time I went, I didn't realize that, hey, we're in Tokyo. And so you take a bus, and you're another 2 hours from Tokyo. I started crying. Yeah, it was brutal.
That's kind of how Denver is. The airport sits way outside Denver.
Yeah.
So
So this is even further, so.
a good ways out.
Wow.
You're listening to President of the Rutherford County Chamber of Commerce, Paul Latture. We're going to take our first break, and we'll be back with you in just a minute.
Hi, this is Chip Walters with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates. You might know me as the voice of the Blue Raiders, but I want to be your trusted advisor in real estate. Whether you're buying or selling, it's time to choose Chip. Do you have a growing family and need to upsize? Are you an empty nester now and need to downsize? Are you thinking of selling your current home but just worried you can't find something else? Well, it's time to choose Chip. I'm looking to be your trusted advisor in real estate. I'm Chip Walters with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates.
As a leader in environmental services, sustainability is deeply integrated into our business model. At Middle Point Landfill, we are environmentalists at heart. This is Mike Klassen with Middle Point Landfill. We use cutting-edge technology in combination with our deep experience in recycling and waste services to protect our environment and our neighbors. That's our job, and that's our promise. We invite you to learn more about us at middlepointlandfill.com. For public services, we are sustainability in action.
Del Walmsley and the Wealth Cycle.
This is the wealth cycle that I've taught for 30 years. Buy one house, 10 houses, an apartment, 2 apartments, 8, 20, 500 units, 1,000 units, 2,000, 5,000 units. And as you keep putting the money and the profits back in, you become one of those rich people. And much quicker than you'd even believe.
Learn Del's Wealth Cycle at GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Use promo code 2023. Save 60%. Code 2023. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com.
COVID-19 has cast a spotlight on the stark inequalities that drive poverty. The poorest communities in the U.S. and around the world are suffering the most. Oxfam believes we can put systems in place to protect health and livelihoods in the future if we work together with dignity and compassion. Learn how you can help offer safety to the most vulnerable and fight for a more resilient future at oxfamamerica.org. Sponsored by Oxfam America.
This is Good Neighbor Events with Bart Walker. Brought to you by AmeriCare Pest Control and the law offices of John Day.
This is a paid legal ad.
Hi, this is John Day of the Law Offices of John Day.
For more than 30 years, my team and I have worked hard to help injured people throughout Middle Tennessee. Over that time, we've helped thousands of people get the legal help they need when they've needed it the most. And if we're not able to help or aren't the right lawyer for you, we'll do the best to point you in the right direction. If you've been injured, call the law offices of John Day for a free consultation. And remember, there's no fee unless we win your case.
WGNS encourages you to patronize those local family businesses. Are you really challenged with a computer? Would you like to learn more about how to use your computer? There's some free classes over at the Rutherford County Library Systems Technology Engagement Center. It's over on Minerva Drive here in Murfreesboro. And those free computer classes are Monday afternoons at 3:30 or Tuesdays at 2:30. Oh, the 5th annual Storybook Breakfast at Overall Creek Elementary School is right around the corner. It'll be Saturday morning, February 3rd, and it's sponsored by our friends at Murfreesboro Medical Clinic Pediatrics. Don't miss the Storybook Breakfast at Overall Creek Elementary School, Saturday morning, February 3rd. That winter weather we had sort of changed everybody's schedules, and the Rutherford County Beekeepers Association are back to normal, we hope. The next meeting is Monday night, February the 5th at 7 o'clock over at the Lane Agri Park. That's the Rutherford County Beekeepers Association. Monday, February 5th, 7 o'clock in the evening. Those are WGNS Good Neighbor events.
Good neighbor weather.
Few spotty rain showers early this afternoon, otherwise cloudy skies, a high in the mid-50s. Tonight, chance for rain late, cloudy, low near 48. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki on News Radio WGNS.
Currently, it's 50. WGNS is powered by Middle Tennessee Electric. United Communications, MTE's internet company, is a nationally recognized, award-winning provider of internet and phone services to enterprise-class businesses and residential customers in Middle Tennessee. Find out more at mte.com/internet.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and worldwide at WGNSradio.com.
And welcome back to Tuesday Mornings with Rick and Wayne. And today our guest is good friend and fellow Rotarian, the president of the Rutherford County Chamber of Commerce, Paul Latture. And that first segment flew by, Paul.
It sure did.
Hey, let's talk about the partnership between the chamber and the schools. You know, with career and technical, and I mean, I'm just really been fascinated with the partnership and the cooperation, and seeing where our students go from here.
Yeah, no, glad to talk about that. So we have a program called Rutherford Works, and it's been developed as our keystone launch into workforce development, and that's the number one thing we still hear from small companies to large companies to and everywhere in between. That workforce continues to be their largest challenge. And so we did, to your point, we did partner with both school systems here, with the Murfreesboro City Schools as well as the Rutherford County Schools. And in particular, you know, the career and technical education aspect of it, because we know there's a lot of students who may not go to a four-year university, but you know, might benefit from learning about trades, learning about mechatronics and manufacturing, healthcare. They may not want to go and be get the degree to be a certain level of a nurse or some kind of technician or assistant, but they can. We try to lay out these clear pathways, and really we start talking to students in the 8th grade where we introduce careers to them. So really our highest 5 career sectors are manufacturing, advanced manufacturing, information technologies, healthcare, construction, and supply chain logistics. And of course everybody now knows what supply chain logistics are when COVID hit and they couldn't get toilet paper. So that's really has taken off as well. So we really have, not only for the kids but for the parents, to say, hey, if your child wants to go and graduate high school with a 1-year certification from the Tennessee College of Applied Technology or TCATS, they can do that and be hired and making X amount of money, depending on what field it is. If you want to continue on and get your level 2 certification in mechatronics, for example, you can go through, while you're working, your company will help you along with the scholarships that you'll receive to Motlow. You can get your 2-year certification. And if you want to go continue that, you can get your 4-year certification or degree, from MTSU, which MTSU has a growing and exciting program with mechatronics and engineering there. And one of the interesting things is that, it takes a long time to get new curriculum approved, and this was I'm told, the fastest approval for curriculum with MTSU getting mechatronics degree. And so there's a clear pathway of on ramps and off ramps. If you want to continue here, you can do this. And essentially, if you get your 4-year degree, you could easily make 6 figures. And so we're trying to do that, and explain that to parents as well as students that they're a good job. We have job fairs as well. When you're a senior, we have a lot of. We have probably had 50 companies last year come in to one of the high schools where everybody could come, or actually TCAT, and they're hiring people on the spot. Wow. And so, just trying to get people moved through school to say there are great careers here in Rutherford County, and if you want to get your education here, and stay here, you like it, we'd love to keep you here and get those folks directly into the workforce, selfishly as quick as possible.
We had Rotary, the concrete management program, and that they were coming out without any debt and 2 or 3 job offers even before they actually graduated.
That resonates with prospective students, and it resonates with parents in particular. Yeah. That the goal is to get a good job and a career that you can enjoy, and then no debt obviously is huge.
I like how I'm seeing the education. It looks like it's evolving to where the old traditional style 4-year college degree and what it looked like is, to me, the vision and what the schools are doing are totally different because of the way things are evolving and automated with computers. And I don't know where this AI is going to, come in as far as education goes in the workforce. But I know some companies are already seeing great impacts in it. I know with us being in insurance, there's a lot of talk right now about the automated voice systems that even agents now are having to go through, to where you're not getting a live person on the phone anymore. But it's going to go back to a lot of our skills. I think are going to be these technical type services that students are going to have to learn.
I know when the program first came out where you could go to Motlow and other junior colleges, at no expense. The 4-year universities, I know, were probably really concerned, but I, from the outside looking in, that looks like that has really worked out. That it's given these students 2 years to really, as they're getting the prerequisites out of the way, to look around and say, as they mature, hey, here's an opportunity for me over here, or there's an opportunity over there that they may not have seen if they were just at a normal university setting with the fraternities and like you mentioned earlier, right. Paul, I'd like to think that there's been some opportunities realized that they may not have realized in the past.
There's no question, and I think prospective students to different schools, universities, community colleges, these schools are having to market different because they have choice. So they have to, kind of up their game, so to speak, of how we're going to recruit students to be successful at our place. The community college scholarships, are fantastic. You can go free to community college. But to your other point about maturity, you get your basic core classes for the first 2 years, and you're a more mature student, so you're going to be more focused on what you want to do as you go into, for the most part, finishing your last 2 years and get your 4-year degree. So, and the goal is obviously to keep your scholarships. You got to have, for the Hope Scholarship
Sure.
at 4-year universities, you got to have a 3.0. And I didn't realize until my daughter went through, the first 2 years are at a certain amount, and then the last 2 years it actually elevates. You get more money if you keep
if you keep your
do.
GPA.
Yeah, so that was a nice surprise.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, smiled all the way to the bank, huh?
Well, still. Didn't cover everything.
My daughter just went through the high school program with a dual enrollment, so she graduated with her associate's degree and went in as a junior. And man, you want to talk about a game changer. But you hate to see your little ones grow up that fast and everything else. But yeah, the way that it's evolving, and like TCAT, we've had them on the show as well. And you know, you talking about having a kid come through there leaving with no debt, with a job and a warranty, because if they start messing up, the employer can call TCAT and they'll take the kid back in, or the person, and retrain them and make sure that they're whatever they're deficient in, they'll figure it out and send them back to you. So you're talking about what university out there gives a warranty for their students that are leaving, and it's just amazing.
So as far as workforce development, do you see anything changing on the horizon, or expanding the program, or just trying to keep this machine going forward?
You know, always looking for other opportunities. You know, I think when we get into some of the challenges of providing the same type programs to all the schools, you know, you see, in particular, you have different programs that are more prevalent. Like at Oakland, for example, they have the mechatronics program there. Done a great job getting equipment, which is one of the biggest costs donated. So if you're at another school, you might not have that opportunity unless you. And I don't know the rules. So you know, would love to see at some point in time, and we've had some preliminary discussions of having just the concept of having one CTE school where everybody could come and do that. So that may be a ways down the road. I know the school system has other priorities as it relates to new construction to accommodate the growth. So you know, it's but I know it's important. I know we talked to Dr. Sullivan and others. You know, CTE is definitely an important part of the fabric of what we want to do as it relates to education.
That's fascinating. I didn't think about that, because like Laverne High School has 30 students that don't show up to Laverne High School. They go straight over to Motlow and Smyrna, and they attend their classes during the day. So if you had a TCAT with over 50 programs that you would almost like when I was growing up, they called it co-op. So you were there part of the day, and then at noon, if you had transportation, you were able to leave and you went to some kind of job or
and that's a problem.
Work.
Transportation is a problem.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you still have to meet all the requirements of the state, and so forth. So,
well, you know, we talked about a vocational high school, or you know, back in 2006.
Right.
But when you're using every closet and room for some kind of classroom space, it's just become problematic. Right. Finding opportunities to expand some programs just because of space.
Right.
Yeah, I think it was a little while back. Y'all even went on, and as far as the Industrial Development Board, and did a presentation in the county commission, because I knew there was a lot of questions as far as when you meet with these companies and what the negotiations are and what incentives that may be offered. That I think there's a misnomer that there's a lot of incentives and tax money are given away to these companies, and it's really not true. There is something out there offered, but it's nowhere near what people think.
No, and you know what happens? You know, a headline may say, you know, company gets X amount of dollar-wise, but I think people may not understand that we'll be abating a piece. Let's say they have $25 million in equipment that currently doesn't exist in Rutherford County. So there's nothing we're not giving it up necessarily. That's already on the tax rolls. We're just looking at future investments that this company may make. And you know, hey, the incentive game has been around forever, and I always tell people, don't blame us, blame that first community that started incentives. But if you want jobs, unfortunately or fortunately, that's part of the matrix of of going and winning projects. So you know, some communities do a lot more than we do. Some communities do a lot less than we do. But I would say, you know, we want to be fair. We want to be mindful. And, you know, we believe, and we have demonstrated that if we're successful, then, you know, the county benefits far more from a tax standpoint than a greenfield site. Perhaps it's not generating hardly anything.
Sure. Well, the opportunities that what growth brings, you know, and I hear complaints about growth, when we get in the traffic, but the opportunities for everyone. As a child growing up on the northern end of the county, there was, the pickings were slim if you wanted a part-time job or after school or on weekends. And now you have retail markets competing for you. You go 3 or 4 places and you see who has the best offer.
Yeah, let me tell you, to your point, and I gave an interview yesterday on Channel 2, so this is media week for me.
So this is an upgrade today already, I tell.
That's right. The retail, and I was not here necessarily then, but I always had to hear about. You either had to go to Hickory Hollow to go to the mall, get some shoes or pants or whatever, and then Cool Springs came along. But obviously, there's just about anything you want here in our county that you can go after. And with Trader Joe's coming, that's a big announcement that was done last week by Mayor McFarland and others. Retail and these municipalities and counties count on sales tax, and it's important. The school system counts on sales tax heavily. So when you're talking about that, we always want somebody to shop here before making another choice if possible. But what's going on in Smyrna, and you look at what's going on in Laverne, they're making great strides in retail. And you look at what Laverne's doing. They specifically, and they're doing a great job of just focusing on retail. They have Tom Broker, who's on our board, leads that effort for the city of Laverne. They're very visible at shows that we have been in some with them. So it's with BJ's Wholesale coming in. That's a huge generator of sales tax. I know everybody like Walmart came there. Well, big deal. Well, that's a big deal with all the sales tax that they're generating from that. So, they were so heavily industrialized with companies that don't generate sales tax for them. I think it's been great. You look at what's going on in Smyrna. I hear the stories about Sam Ridley used to be a used to be a 2-lane highway, and there's a catfish house and so forth. And I look at it today and I go, there's no way that could have been the case.
Well, I can remember Super Bowl Sunday, January of 1985, when we got about 8 inches of snow and ice, and temperature was 17 below with a 50 below wind chill, and driving up or crawling up Sam Ridley, and there's nothing on Sam Ridley in January of 1985. The Catfish House is not there yet. There's nothing.
Okay.
And so...
that was the Bears and the Patriots, I believe. It was in New Orleans.
Actually, I thought it was San Francisco and somebody.
The debate is on.
I don't know. Hey, your memory's got to be better.
Should we
than
gamble
mine.
on air?
Hey, I was in a football pool, and I came in last with another notable Rutherford County, and which I won't mention his name because but that's why I don't bet on ball games because I'm not very good at it.
Well, back to Smyrna, you look at what's going to happen with the Stewart's Landing. That's going to be also a game changer, especially on that end of the road there. And really, we've had several meetings with the developer, and they seem like really top-notch folks. So that's going to be also
with
Buc-ee's. Joby Jackson, is that still?
Still a go. I think if you go down there now, you see some dirt work. They had to realign the road of Butler Drive. That was part of the deal to kind of help get the intersection away from the interstate interchange to back a little bit to improve it. It needed to be improved anyways, and so that's going to be.
That's got to be a sales tax bonanza there.
Yeah, no doubt.
I've only been to the one on the way on 65 going to Huntsville, and it's a destination spot. It's amazing.
I'm probably one of the only few that hadn't been to one yet, so I look forward to going to one when it opens. If I don't go to one before,
you've not been to a Buc-ee's?
I have not.
Wow. Actually, we were in Texas driving back, and we hit a Buc-ee's there outside Dallas, and of course that's where they come from. So I expected, and it mirrors any of the other ones I've been in. And I don't know why I expected something special for them being in Texas, but it was an older store, and they had just gone in and remodeled it, and it was really nice. It was nice.
Pretty cool.
But everyone, you listen to the Rutherford County Chamber of Commerce President Paul Latture. We're going to take our second break, and we'll be right back with you in just a minute.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Rayburn Insurance in Smyrna.
Come see me, Rick Hall, at Rayburn Insurance in downtown Smyrna today.
Online at rayburn.net.
Where is the best barbecue in town? In 1920, East Main. The best barbecue for miles around is in 1920, East Main. You can buy it by the pound, sandwich, platter, or plate. No matter what you choose, it will taste great. You can come with a friend, by yourself, or with a date. Just Slick Pig Barbecue. Barbecue pork, beef, or chicken, Brunswick stew, great sides, lunch specials, down-home atmosphere, and they cater. Slick Pig Barbecue, it's the best.
Folks, I hope you listen in every Sunday night at 8 o'clock to the Edwin Lee Raymer Show. We'll talk about some local politics, national politics, all types of topics, all types of guests. That's 8 o'clock Sunday night, Edwin Lee Raymer Show. Talk to you then.
Here at Bud's Tire, we make buying Michelin tires simpler. I'm Allison Mitchell with Bud's Tire Pros. We offer a straightforward approach to service, including nationwide warranties with every purchase. Stop in today to see our full lineup of Michelin and BF Goodrich tires. For whatever you drive, Michelin and BF Goodrich have a tire to fit any need. Bud's Tire Pros, hassle-free, guaranteed. We're located on East Main Street, exactly 3 miles from the town square, 1 mile past Rutherford Boulevard. Visit us online at budsTireProsTN.com.
Hey guys, this is Scott. You know, there's a lot of people talking about testosterone. I was one of them at one point, but I'm here to say you need to do your homework and go to a provider that you can trust. I went to Low T Center. That's where I get my levels checked, and they specialize in men's wellness and customized testosterone treatment. You walk in, take a simple blood test, and with their on-site lab, you'll get your results back in about 25 minutes. So if you've been feeling tired, grumpy, noticed a weight gain, and loss of muscle mass, these could all be signs of low testosterone levels. Low T Center is not a typical doctor's office where you have a long wait. Low T Center is literally concierge medicine exclusively for men. And they have affordable, convenient treatment options, including physician-monitored self-inject treatments that ship directly to your home each month. So there's no need to drive to the center for weekly visits. Right now, it's only $25 to get your testosterone level tested with results back in 25 minutes. Go to lowtcenter.com to book your appointment online today. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Get it later from the paper or get it now from the radio. WGNSradio.com. We're News Radio WGNS 100.5, 101.9, 1450. Online and on your phone at WGNSradio.com. This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and worldwide at WGNSradio.com.
And good morning and welcome back to the final segment of Tuesday Mornings with Rick and Wayne. And this morning, again, our pleasure, good friend and Rotarian, the president of the Rutherford County Chamber of Commerce, Paul Latture, has been dazzling us with with information about the growth of our county. Let's go back 15 years when you came to our community. What was the landscape at that time?
Well, I spent 1 year at we call the old chamber building, not Kennisburg,
right,
where Mona and some others spent time there.
We get blood there now.
You get blood there now. Yeah, you used to get membership dues. Now you're doing blood. So fortunately, I came in. Timing's everything. Everything was already pre-done, and I got to stand up at the groundbreaking and say what a great building this is going to be. I had zero working to it, so it was awesome. But that was a big deal, moving out there, and just looking at, I look at my office window, which is on the third floor, kind of looking back towards town on Med Center Parkway, the only thing that you really could see was the empty suites. And then, of course, the hospital opened right after that, probably about a month or two after we moved in our building. And so sometimes if I'm going down Med Center Parkway and I look around, I've lost all my landmarks, whether it be trees or what have you. And I go, wait a minute, where am I turning? So obviously, with the tremendous growth that's happened there, and then now with what's going on with Clary Park, which is the other development across the street from the avenue.
That's going to have an amphitheater? Is that
No, that's
the
other side of the
other side. Okay,
or other end of the road. Excuse me.
Okay,
by the fountains. A lot has changed, obviously, and it's been interesting to watch from my window. And
I bet it's hard to get to work during Christmas with the avenue out there.
Well, I go a back way, but the back way has been discovered as well.
Don't share it, yeah.
So it's not too bad, but yeah, I know where to go and not to go, especially during the holidays. But yeah, it's just to look at both hospitals in our community with Stonecrest, the expansion that they have done, as well as obviously with what is going on at St. Thomas, Ascension St. Thomas. Obviously, healthcare, our community's growing, so they got to grow to meet the needs of our citizens for healthcare. And so it's been amazing to see all that happen. I used to be able to see the hospital from my window with trees growing up and buildings between there. You don't get that big view anymore. So obviously, I'm gonna leave somebody out, but MMC's done a great job of expanding and meeting the needs of. So everything you see has been what I consider just great opportunities with, people talk about growth and the challenges that come with it and don't want any more growth. And I said this publicly at a county commission meeting recently. I said, if the Chamber of Commerce stopped doing all activities, we'd still have growth coming in here. And so it's incumbent upon us to talk about how we try to manage that, embrace it.
Yeah. I think manage is a key word.
Right.
So when you go nationally, so if you go to conventions or things like that, I bet y'all stay busy, especially for the corporate companies that may be there and are looking around. Y'all have a line, right?
We do, yeah, no doubt. We have our appointment books full. We talk to companies, and whether it's retail, tourism. I really hadn't mentioned much about tourism today, but we go to a lot of shows that are tourism related. Our staff does, our team. It's just incredible that they want to come visit here. And it used to be where people would stay in Nashville and then kind of, for 2 or 3 days and then kind of spoke out and do different things. No, they want to stay in Rutherford County and then figure out what to do from there. So that whole landscape has changed for the better. Tourism is really, it's king. And it has grown tremendously with what, the city's investment, all the city's investments rather, with the athletic fields. Biggest complaint we used to have, especially with Murfreesboro, when it would rain and all these teams are coming in from literally all over the country, and they may play one game and get rained out. Well, now with these turf fields, it's been a game changer for us and indoor. And then I know Smyrna's done the same on some fields as well, and has plans to do so. We, tourism is, we're in the top 10 in tourism in the state of Tennessee. I think we were number 10 for a long time, and now we're up to number 7. And think about that. We don't have a mountain range. We don't have Graceland. So we have grown it organically, frankly.
Well, even from Smyrna to downtown, if you stay at a hotel in Smyrna or just one here in Murfreesboro, I mean, you just I-24 and you're downtown. If you want to see the Preds, if you want to see the Titans, if you want a T-Pack or something at Bridgestone, I mean, you're just a few minute drive until you hit gridlock in Nashville, I guess.
Well, talk about hotels. We need more. We don't have enough right now. That, and of course, with the conditions of the situation with financing and money, or the cost of money rather, it's slowed. The Feds it worked. It slowed some stuff down.
Sure.
On some things, but we're woefully under where we need to be as it relates to hotel number of rooms.
No, with the church property downtown, I don't know if y'all were involved very much with it, but I know they just sent a letter to the city saying they couldn't go forward with it, I guess because of funding and the comedy where it is. But that was going to be a pretty substantial hotel project, and comes in with that church deal that's kind of fell through. But I know a lot of people were kind of counting on that for downtown Murfreesboro to help with things.
Yeah, I think I wasn't involved directly necessarily, but COVID really killed the hotel part. I know, because they were like, nobody's traveling and we're not going to do this now. But of course, it's roared back since then. But yeah, that is, it's amazing how quickly the landscape can change.
Yeah.
As it relates to the cost of money or cost of materials, it's crazy.
I think you hit on a big gem though. Is this like the thing that we could do is this spring fling and things where we have these sports teams coming in and being able to provide something because our climate and everything else, and we're so close for 500 miles is 6 hours, so everybody can get here. But the Smyrna Rotary Soccer Park, when they run a tournament out there, I mean, those people come in from everywhere. And the share tax revenue that they're spending on hotels and food and everything else, and then they leave. So you reap the benefits of it for one weekend and they're gone. And you kind of know, if you work 9 to 5 and you don't go out on the weekend, you kind of never know they were there. And we just made that revenue off those people here. So
I mean, just soccer itself, Cherry Lane. If you're if you hit it wrong and one tournament has ended and the other one's beginning, if you're on a side street, you can't get out. It's just packed.
That's good.
Yeah, because they're spending money.
That's right.
They're eating, they're staying, and it's again sales tax.
Absolutely, and motel tax.
So, do you have any big announcements that we could be the first to share with the county that something's coming?
I do not.
We always got to have that hook.
We got some things brewing, hopefully, but I do think I'm still, very bullish on Rutherford County. I think our region as well. We got great things to continue to come. Things have changed. The office market has totally changed. Companies are still trying to figure that piece out. So you're not seeing these big, announcements across the country about office. I mean, they're more worried about how they're going to turn office, in New York into condos.
Right.
So that's changed differently. So it's just, again, I'm still excited about what the future holds. We hope people know we have a great team in place to keep that going, and a great community, great partnership with our elected officials. So great industrial board, Rick serves on, and just don't mess it up, man.
Nice plug.
I know.
I was surprised. I didn't know that you had 22 staff members. That's a big operation.
It is, yeah, and a couple of part-time as well to help fill in at the visitor center. But yeah, it's we got a great team. Couldn't be more excited about.
I'm just thinking 15 years ago when you walked in, looked around, going, okay, here I am.
Well, it was in 08 or right around there, so things were a lot different economically.
Right.
But they're better now.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
I think we all remember 2008.
Yeah.
That's it certainly wasn't the Depression, but it's certainly something that any adult would probably remember 2008 because it was catastrophic.
Well, we hate seeing the growth because we've been here forever like we have, but a lot of places would change places with us in a second with the opportunities we've got here and for our kids. And, I look at the opportunities my kids have got here just to be able to stay locally, because you hate seeing your kids move across country for something when we've got it right here in our backyard to keep our families close.
Well, it's like you said, there's nothing that you really can't get here in Rutherford County that you have to go to Metro, for anymore.
Right.
And I think that's pretty cool. So, fine dining, fine clothing, entertainment. I mean, just the whole 9 yards. Curious to see how the improvements of the athletic facilities over at Middle with the tennis complex and the addition to the football stadium, and I know they have plans to do some things at Murphy, but the changing out the glass was made a huge difference on just the vision of the attractiveness of the building, I guess.
What can y'all offer a small business? So if a guy's business is kind of growing a little bit in this whole area and he's looking to expand and things, what things can y'all offer the small business guy? Because I know y'all have got, through the Diplomat program, y'all have got programs that people can go through to discover more about Rutherford County, but what can y'all offer the smaller businesses?
Yeah, great question. Thank you for that. One of the biggest things we can do is our partnership with MTSU and the Tennessee Small Business Development Center. So you just pointed out a perfect example of a company who's growing and may not know what to do next or how to do this or tackle a certain growth problem. They can come to our building, set up a time with those guys. Pat Geho runs for the whole state of Tennessee. But they have great business counselors down there that can do that. Certainly what we think we can provide is, from time to time we have great educational opportunities to learn about marketing or different aspects of accounting or what have you. We do those seminars periodically. But the biggest thing that we can do, we feel like, is if you have a business, we want to provide you an opportunity for exposure to other people. Networking. I mean, in any business you're in, basically you've got to get out there and let people know who you are.
Sure.
People do business with people they trust and know, and so that's a perfect example. And I have seen over my tenure here just guys that were younger in particular, whatever business they were, they've just got involved in Diplomats, got involved in Chamber, and they are more successful today. And matter of fact, I had one recently tell me I was, if I hadn't got involved in the Chamber, I probably wouldn't be in business right now.
Wow.
So that was great to hear.
Yeah.
So those things that we can do, and if there's specific requests that we don't offer, we're certainly glad to hear. Listen to what somebody might have to say and try to accommodate.
So if somebody wants to reach out to the Chamber, the easiest way through the website?
That's where everything's going. Absolutely. We feel like we got a good website, both with our Chamber website and then also, as I mentioned earlier, the Rutherford Works. If you want to go on there, if you're seeking information about just anything related to economic development or workforce development, we've got a pretty robust site that can give you, just about any kind of information that you're looking for. So we subscribe to different services for information, So, yeah, I would start there for sure.
Thank you for being with us this morning.
Well, thank you guys. No, it's always fun. You guys said, invited me. I said, there's no way I'd miss this. So.
You've been our top guest for 2024. So.
Awesome.
Yeah, there you go.
First guest.
Well, again, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoyed our show, and we'll be back with you again next week. Hopefully we'll have some better weather and back to normal here in Tennessee. But everybody have a great day.